Thanks for being so patient. Okay, I think I've got this up now. Let me just make sure it's swapped out. There we go. I'm hoping you'll be able to hear the audio from this video here, but if you, for any reason, are unable to hear the audio, you can, just definitely go on the website, on our website there, and play the video from there. So, in talking about quality, I just wanted to share this bit of information with you. Essential oils that are meant for medicinal purposes, they need, obviously, a good aromatic plant needs a whole lot of nitrogen and other components. And so Young Living, here's a video just to sort of summarize it. Here's Gary Young, the founder of Young Living, talking and showing how before even planting a seed of lavender on that property, that piece of land on that farm, that how they will grow alfalfa on that piece of land for 5 years. Yep, you heard that right, up to 5 years. And when the alfalfa is nice and strong and long and tall and good, then they work it into the ground, because alfalfa has a lot of nitrogen, and so it's able to nourish the soil, feed the soil the nutrients that the soil must have in order to feed a good lavender seed for it to grow to its best potential, medicinal potential. And so, what other company do you know that will plant and, dedicate 5 years of their land to nourish the soil organically and naturally and, and well, to be able to then plant the seed that is going to be the moneymaker? You know what I mean? So that's something to think about, and that obviously, does say a lot about quality. And of course, Young Living is an open book company where they will tell you everything that they will use to fertilize, to keep pests away. Whatever you want to know, name it, they will tell you. And you can visit the farms for yourself. You can see these things. And, I've found a lot of integrity with this company. And that's why they're the only ones that I trust for the essential oils that I use for myself, and especially for my children. And another thing to think about is also the distillery that they're using, because and how they're distilling. Most of the lavender out there today is distilled not even for a fraction of the time that it's supposed to be distilled. It's supposed to be distilled for hours, and it's distilled for minutes. It's scary stuff out there, so do educate yourself, because you want to make sure you're making the best possible choice for your health and for your children's health. And another thing that has also impressed me about this company is their commitment to purity over profit. They have turned away, when they had people, waiting, and they had thousands and thousands of people saying, give me this oil, and they were out of the oil because they couldn't keep up with the demand. And they had, they were able to get into somebody else's, another farm, a partner farm or whatever, was able to produce the oil that they were low on because of the growth. They actually turned it away after testing and realized that it was not up to our regular standards, and lost a bunch of profit. And yes, they did lose some members during that time. Absolutely. Some people got very impatient. But to me, I was impressed by that, because that said to me how they will not compromise purity for a profit. And you know, that's impressive. And like I said, you can't find that with just about any company. Let me here, play this video. You can see it. And let me know if you need me to turn the volume up. Don't be shy.
Field preparation is one of the most important things for growing any plant, whether it be a seed or what we do here at Young Living is that we create and comparing to create a research, we first must understand the conditions that it takes to growing a plant. Organic plants require a lot of nitrogen in order to produce grain. And here, what we're doing before we want to start planting, we prepare the soil. Alfalfa is the process that we use in feeding and nurturing the soil pre-planting stage. And we make the alfalfa soil for 5 years. And then, as we do next summer, this plant at its stage of about 8 inches of field after the last harvest is then plowed into the ground to prepare the soil for the nutrients required for growing our plants and doing our maintenance programs. Yes, we do use organic practices in the growing of our plants here. But now I'd like to talk more about the preparation of the soil as we go forward to planting it. This chapter is subsoil. Subsoiling is because we got to get those nutrients into the ground to soil to get more oxygen and moisture to the soil and the roots of the plant. And that moisture can wake up and germinate the seed after planting. Once the subsoiling is completed, then the second machine goes through with the slope plow and does a deep plowing process. Once we're ready to plant the planting, it starts this next time of the year. That's why we got here in this cool weather. The basic dimensions of the tree. We're now to start planting planting. And one of the things that alfalfa will see plowing is very important for the preparation. And the tractor with the subsoil on, going through, dropping those livers 8 inches into the ground, called the plow point. This allows more oxygen and more water to go down 4 inches into the soil. Now we know alfalfa has a root of 21 feet. And we can plow here with almost 21 root. It has been turned over for the plowing process. All of this was in a way in the winter time and decomposed and break down for the preparation of using soil nutrition. Alfalfa is one of the highest valued nitrogen that you can grow for forming the soil. Nitrogen is protein. Carbon nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, carbon, all of the elements which are critical for the growing of strong plant. And they have a lot of nitrogen. Alfalfa contains natural nitrogen, so we're not having to put synthetic chemicals on the soil in the preparation stage. This is the first step in preparing the soil. Go through the winter.
Okay, so you get the idea. It's impressive, right? I'd say so. And another thing I want to show you is, going back to asking some of those tough questions about, quality is, here, let me see if I can get that screen up too. Thank you guys for being so patient. So, right there, perfect. And right here, and again, this is all on the website, so, and you guys have it right there. So this is a chart that, lists some questions to ask. And when you're considering getting your oils from a particular company, these are the questions that you would want to ask to make sure that you are getting, that highest quality, because, a few of these could be grade A. But again, there's going to be grade A where, some of the practices are still questionable. And then there's going to be grade A where there's no question, it's the best. And you feel confident allowing your children to use this and ingest it, and you feel confident using it during a time as sensitive as pregnancy. So these are some of the questions that you would want to ask the company. Do they own their own farms? Are they fully, they have fully equipped labs? Do they have trained nose staff? Do they visit supplier distilleries? Do they test for peak harvest time? Because it's not just growing an aromatic plant and then harvesting. They have to know when to harvest. There's a peak time, and that peak time is different depending on the plant. So how much about this stuff do they know? Do they have trained staff on farms? Do they discard mistakes? Or do they do them anyway for a profit? Again, this company, they took a huge loss in saying no, because they would not compromise purity. And so that's an important question to ask. Do they have cone lids? Do they distill using solvents or without? You want a company that distills without solvents. Do they bottle their own oils, and have they been tested side by side with Young Living to compare quality? And even so, France was originated, lavender, the original lavender originated from France, and French, some of the head French aromatherapists and scientists and farmers came over, and they tested the lavender, and they found it to be of higher quality than the French lavender, the Young Living lavender. And so, again, you want to, test that side by side and make sure how is that. And so these are just some of the 12 questions to ask, and you can see on this chart here how a lot of these companies have answered them. Feel free to pick up the phone and make those calls, because it's very interesting the answers you will get. And I've heard some very interesting answers when it comes to these. And yeah, please do share them, because I always love to hear what they're saying lately. But these 12 questions came out of the book. They're the 12 questions posed by Dr. David Stewart in the Healing Oils of the Bible. So in case you want to look that up, again, that's another great resource. And I know you guys are busy, so many resources to keep up with, but do have them, because that time is going to come when you're going to want to hit that book and find out for yourself. Okay, switch. There we go. So that's quality. Did you know that 95% of essential oils are altered or reconstituted? They are only partially natural and have lesser quality oils mixed in. Do you know that? They're not pure, they're not genuine, they're not authentic. They may contain some active molecules providing some therapeutic value, but they're much more prone, or they make you much more prone to allergic response, irritation, toxic side effects, and that's what makes them less desirable. Kurt Schnobolt from Aromatherapy Lifestyle, he has been the one that found that 95% of the oils fall into this category of adulterated or reconstituted, and so makes you question what is really out there on the market. So what's the key to pure, potent, genuine, therapeutic grade oil? The plants, like we said, have to be grown free of herbicides and pesticides. They have to be low pressure and low temperature distillation. And also, are they using patented distillers that are stainless steel and they're not copper or round domed? And do they go through stringent testing? That's very important. Ask those questions. There's basically 3 models of use when it comes to essential oils. So the English, they have the topical massage. They're into diluting a small amount of essential oil into a vegetable oil and massaging the body for the purpose of relaxation. That's the English way of using essential oils. So then there's the French way of using essential oils, and they're into using it for medicinal purposes. The doctor prescribes the ingestion and the neat, undiluted topical application. And then you've got the German way of using the essential oils, which is basically the traditional aromatherapy, inhaling and smelling. So you focus on inhalation of the essential oils. Now, I always recommend, something I do, and I find it works really well, is I like to mix all 3, combine all 3 models to give the best, and superior results. But one thing that I love to do is before, applying the oil or ingesting it, I will put, just smell it. And it sort of, helps my body get ready for the oil that is coming. And, of course, you get that aromatherapy benefit, and, it hits your olfactory senses, everything. And then you can, ingest it, apply it topically or however. And so I like to use them all, mix them up. And that's how you get the best benefit, best results. So let's talk about, how to really use them. Pure, authentic, some more specific ways of using them. And again, we're talking about pure, authentic, genuine, pure essential oils. So specifically Young Living essential oils are the ones that I find to meet this category. And this is how you can use them. You can diffuse them, smell them. You can wear them or apply topically. You can wear them as perfume or wear them on your skin. Use them in the bath. But now, because remember, oil and water don't mix, don't just use them in bath water alone. Make sure that your bath water has Epsom salts so that, again, it could help and aid the process. You can use them for massage mom and baby. Use them for ointments, first aid, natural medicines, and the list goes on. You can ingest them depending on the brand. Again, I only stand behind Young Living essential oils because I know that they're safe enough, and I know they're growing and distilling practices, so I feel confident ingesting them. You can also use them for food preparation, again, depending on the brand. And another one of my favorite ways to use it is house cleaning. So essential oil properties, let's talk about them for a little bit so that you can understand why they're, so beneficial. Essential oils, they have a lipophilic property, which means they cross between both circulations, lymph and blood. And they also cross the blood-brain barrier. They increase cellular oxygen when inhaled, There's actually some studies done about Idaho balsam fir, so look those up. You can just Google it, Idaho balsam fir study, and you'll find some very interesting things about, actually I think it was a study that was done, and it was shown with a little boy that was having respiratory issues, and just inhaling the Idaho balsam fir increased his cellular oxygen. So yeah, just definitely Google that and look that up. It's very interesting. Essential oils are metabolized in the liver, and they are easy to penetrate through the skin. So they evaporate into the skin very quickly. They dry very quickly, so they're not oily. They don't clog the pores. Like some people think, oh, oil, don't put oil on the skin. These are essential oils. They evaporate and they penetrate through the skin very easily, and they go right into your circulatory systems, your lymph system, your blood system, and into your brain. So let's compare a little bit. Drugs versus essential oils. Okay. So drugs versus essential oils. Drugs, they toxify, where essential oils detoxify. Drugs clog and confuse receptors. Essential oils clean receptors. Drugs depress the immune system. Essential oils strengthen the immune system. So you see a pattern here. Drugs are unbalanced into the body. Essential oils balance. So drugs always have some negative side effects. Essential oils don't really have negative side effects. So which would you choose? And I'm sure most of your medicine cabinets look like this right now. Mine did too at one point. Here's a big one, antibiotics. Talk about those antibiotics. So we all know, and like the sicker you get, the more you get prescribed, and the more you're on antibiotics, the more you seem like you need them all the time, and then they're not effective, and the doctor's always prescribing them. Sure, they attack bacteria indiscriminately, though. They kill both the good and the bad. Essential oils, however, they attack the harmful bacteria, and they actually allow your body's friendly flora to flourish. So they strengthen the good bacteria and the systems that support the good bacteria, and they attack the bad bacteria. So again, which would you choose? Talk about home cleaners. 787 women with breast cancer, 51% of them reported the use of chemical home cleanings, and that's only the reported, right? Home cleaners with chemicals are pretty much in almost every household these days. 44 known health problems associated with using toxins in the home. And pregnant women, we know, are more at risk for problems. And of course, birth defects and things like that. So go to this website, beyondpesticides.org. There's a lot of information on there. And it's very, very helpful. Here's some safety questions. Do synthetic perfumes contain warnings against use when pregnant? No, right? Think about that. The reason why I asked that is because when you use a synthetic perfume, you know that's not good for you, but does that perfume have to have a warning label not to use when you're pregnant? Or how about the air fresheners and the synthetic fragrances and things that are in the house that and there's been studies that show that they cause cancers and all kinds of things that are especially harmful to pregnant women. We know this, but do they have to label that, or do they have to contain a warning against pregnant women using air fresheners? When you look at the list of ingredients in that air freshener, it has stuff that you're supposed to stay away from. So why do natural products come under fire? You have to think about that. There's no warnings given for synthetic toxic products. So you know, really, why do the natural ones get so much heat? So use your oils with caution. Read the book on plants. And here's an interesting thing to keep in mind. Nearly all of these books, every book on plants, including the essential oil test reference and gentle baby, there are some oils to avoid, but not to avoid altogether. Just use with caution and care. There's no need to fear using essential oils, Young Living essential oils. So why do we list some of them as to avoid? Well, that's mostly because what I said earlier in the presentation, it's how you're using and when you're using that has to apply. So during pregnancy, you're going to pick an oil and an application method that's right for your situation. For instance, clary sage is a known plant phytoestrogen that may cause uterine contractions. So that's an oil that you would want to use during labor under, the supervision of a midwife, and not necessarily like halfway through your pregnancy. So you got to know your oils, you got to know when to use them and the best way to use them. Also, you have to think, will you choose conventional medications with multiple side effects or natural remedies used since the beginning of time? Use common sense. And there is actually an oil for that. So there's currently, surprise, surprise, of course not. There's no human testing ever done. And the FDA does not have any randomized, double-blind, controlled human trials using oils on pregnant or nursing women or babies or children, because obviously that would be ethically impossible, as they would call it. So information is pretty much anecdotal and testimonial. So while studies and case reports from clinicians and naturopathic practitioners or aromatherapists provide valuable insight, you have to use your wisdom and common sense. Because, again, all of this stuff comes from anecdotal testimonials. So if you know people who are giving you testimonials and anecdotals, it's essentially kind of the same thing. So how much is too much? So here's, according to the clinical aromatherapy by Jane Buckle, what the amount of oil that would actually cause harm. Some people tell you or warn you it's dangerous, it's very potent. Did you know that you would actually need to ingest 25 milliliters of clove for it to cause any harm, or 8 milliliters of basil, 26 milliliters of sage or tarragon, 5 milliliters of wintergreen? I mean, that's like a bottle and a half or more, or in some cases, a couple of bottles. So, again, how harmful are they is a drop. You would need to ingest that much of these oils all at once in order to get any type of negative response. You would most likely vomit first, and that would be your body's natural response to sort of get rid of it. So how harmful really are they? Okay, let's get into some pregnancy needs here. Obviously, gestational diabetes is usually a big concern, and of course for that you would want to make sure that you're improving your diet and fiber. And then another thing that you might want to do is incorporate some ocotea. 3 to 5 drops twice a day orally has been shown to help a lot of people. Another thing that you may deal with in pregnancy is hemorrhoids. You can blend helichrysum, geranium, cypress, and Roman chamomile, and use that mixture. It's very soothing down there. Also for perineum care, we love Clariderm Mist. It's a mix of all those oils you see listed there. And for hemorrhages, helichrysum, cypress, Tsuga, lavender, geranium are great. Now, of course, if you're hemorrhaging, you would be, calling the doctor or on your way to the hospital. But again, there's just because you're seeking already the medical care doesn't mean that you can't do something natural to help you along the way. And so hopefully you would be applying those oils on your way to, help things along. For heartburn, another common need in pregnancy, a little lemon and peppermint oil in water does wonders. Peppermint essential oil, this is kind of like the second most loved oil in aromatherapy. It, second to lavender, of course, which is the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. So peppermint is very energizing. It is great for nausea and morning sickness. There are 3 amazing uses for peppermint essential oils. Obviously, aromatically smell from the bottle or a tissue right away, and it'll help your nausea. Topically, right over the stomach or the temples or the back of neck, you'll get that cool flush. It's great. Internally, it'll aid you in digestion. Put a drop on the tongue. It's really great that way. But the one thing to keep in mind is it does have a strong scent. And some women do report a drop in milk supply. So after the baby's born, use with caution, and especially use with caution on infants because it does have such a strong scent. So, obviously the bottom of the feet is the best place and the safest place to apply to any baby. And remember that 1 drop of peppermint essential oil equals 26 cups of peppermint tea. And infant fevers, can be managed with this. Obviously, you want to be careful not to apply too much because it has an overwhelming scent, especially for little ones. So, and you don't want them to get a strong inhalation of it. So, no more than 1 drop. Obviously, dilute and right on the navel can really help with the fever. There's Gentle Baby Essential Oil, which is great for stretch marks. You can dilute it 50-50 for a baby massage. And there's varied uses for it. Aromatically, where you diffuse it or inhale it directly. Topically, you can add it to lotions, ointments, over your pregnant belly. It can help the umbilical cord stump along. So many people, have had success with Gentle Baby. Then there's Panaway Essential Oil, which is great for pain. And it's sore, for sore muscles. Muscle, especially as we get big, our belly gets big, we get sore muscles, our legs, everything, our back. And so this is a natural remedy for tenderness and backache. And you can feel instant relief. And it has helichrysum, peppermint, and wintergreen and clove. Some people use it on their varicose and spider veins. It's great. Now, yes, it does have wintergreen, and so you want to be careful not to use too much. But again, it's a blend, so the amount of wintergreen is going to be small in there. And if you're using 1 drop of a blend, obviously the amount of wintergreen is less than 1 drop of wintergreen. And we saw that 1 drop of wintergreen is harmless because you would need to ingest how many milliliters of it for it to cause a problem? Exactly. So it is absolutely safe, but do use with caution. Another great blend is Digest. Great for anything digestive. It's a great tonic for all ages. Helps you with diarrhea, constipation, stomach ache, food poisoning, excessive mucus, stomach virus, etc. Okay, and then the big moment, birth. So you can encounter a few things with birth. You have breech, and many midwives use this trick. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that you would want to consider if you do have a breech baby. There's chiropractic things you can do. There's manual manipulation. There's so many things that can be done. But a lot of midwives use just a drop of peppermint near the baby's head, and of course, because of the strong scent, the baby will turn away from the peppermint. And so that's one thing to try. Then another birth concern would be premature labor, and if you are experiencing any signs of that, obviously you want to get medical care right away. But also, again, you can do some things in the meantime to help yourself out. smell some lavender, some jasmine, some orange, apply it, diffuse it. That's going to help calm you down and slow things down for you, and it's going to, you know, really be beneficial. Also, just in general, support during birth, right? You want support. You're going to need a lot of support because it's, you know, it's hard work. So you can blend fennel, clary sage, helichrysum, ylang ylang, and a lot of people like to apply it to the ankles because that's in reflexology. Those are the points for, you know, for reproductive organs, and so that's a nice blend. And then, of course, for fear, you know, it's scary going into labor. So peace and calming, lavender, and even surrender are great oils to use during labor. Lavender essential oil, you heard me say that it's like the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. It's very calming and soothing, as we know. It has, you know, two great uses, aromatically and topically, of course. It can help halt preterm labor, and it can also, you know, help with stretch marks, headache, pink eye. Of course, we never put oil in the eye, but around the eye. Stress during labor, burns. It's one of the key ingredients in our lavender mist, which we love, of course. And there's frankincense essential oil, which, you know, has ancient wisdom and modern perspectives. There's a lot of research being done on it. It's got a fresh, woody, slightly spicy and fruity scent. It's great in diffusers and lotions. You can use it aromatically, topically, or internally for many, many concerns. And Young Living in particularly has a couple of frankincense. There's Boswellia sacra, which is exclusive from Oman, and then there's the other one, which is the regular frankincense, and they're both great for headaches, labor, perineum care, umbilical cord, and there's a lot of cancer research being done using Young Living therapeutic grade frankincense, and it's, you know, the research is showing that it kills cancer cells. So look that up, sharinggreathealth.com/article library, and you can see it there. Valor and peace and calming are a couple more of my favorites because obviously you need a lot of strength and courage and keep calm. And then, so once the baby is here, you're gonna, you know, hopefully be nursing or not, but, you know, there's some concerns with nursing. You can have a mastitis, which is a breast infection, and for that, eucalyptus, geranium, or Melrose, you know, you can rub it right on the, you know, the area. And obviously not right before you nurse, but, you know, a couple hours before, and that's great to help soothe that. And then for lactation increase, to increase your milk supply, fennel oil is great. You can take a couple drops orally each day, and it helps a lot. And you can also apply it right to the breast. And if you are trying to decrease your milk supply for whatever reason, then clary sage and peppermint are oils that have been shown to do that. There's, you know, obviously also postpartum depression is a concern for a lot of people, and that for most is a hormonal thing. And so Progestins Plus Serum, which, you know, has progesterone naturally from wild yam, is a great option to help with that. And then, of course, there's some oils that can help: jasmine, joy, rose, Idaho balsam fir. Great. And so when it comes to infants and children, any oil that you can use on an adult, you can pretty much use on children. You just want to obviously dilute it heavily and use a very small amount. You know, if you're a 120-pound adult, let's say, you know, when you're applying to a 10-pound infant or a 20-pound infant, you know, again, use your common sense there, and, you know, you're going to dilute it a little bit more and use a lot less, never more than a drop at a time kind of thing. There's definitely essential oils can provide you with some very natural options for everyday first aids and illnesses, for bath and body care, nutritional support like vitamins, minerals, enzymes, that kind of thing. It's great. And an oil that I recommend in every household that has children and a family is lemon myrtle. It is not a blend, it is a distinct plant, lemon myrtle, and it's very good antimicrobial, antifungal. It has strong germicidal powers, twice that of eucalyptus, and 19.5 times citral alone. And it's actually, according to PubMed, there's some studies that have shown that it is actually stronger antifungal than even tea tree oil. So they found that 10% solution of lemon myrtle, which basically just means 1 drop of lemon myrtle to 9 drops of carrier oil, reduced symptoms of molluscum contagiosum, which molluscum contagiosum is, if you know it, is very contagious, a skin thing. Purification is another great blend. Deodorizes, and it's a great insect repellent. It's wonderful. It has a wonderful natural scent, and you can apply it topically to insect bites. You can also diffuse it with lemon in a room late at night to quiet a cough. And also great for disinfecting the diaper pail. And then there's lemon essential oil, which is great for so many things, emotionally uplifting, cleansing. It's fresh, zesty, invigorating. It has so many uses. You can add it to your water. And like I said, you can diffuse it with purification for coughs. You can add it to honey for sore throat. But again, honey is something you want to use, 2 years and up. And you can use it to freshen up a diaper pail. And then probably my all-time favorite is Thieves, which you can use it internally or diffuse it. It's effective against bacteria. It's used in our hand sanitizers, household cleaners, toothpaste, more. It's actually in the inner defense capsules, and it's a blend that is very antimicrobial. There were some studies done. The Weber State University showed Thieves blend to have a 99.96% success rate against airborne bacteria. So why would we not want to diffuse it in our house at least a few minutes each day? I mean, clearly, it has so many benefits. And Dr. Edward Close, a mold remediation expert, he did significant mold testing, and he found that, so 10,667 staph mold spores were identified per cubic meter area. After diffusing these for 48 hours, only 13 staph remained. And when there were 75,000 mold spores identified in a sample of sheetrock, after 72 hours of diffusing, no mold spores remained. So it kills mold. Melrose is another great one. It's great for urinary incontinence. You can apply it over the bladder, apply it under the ear, down the throat for earaches, phlegm in the throat, that kind of thing, skin rashes. Dr. T. Friedman actually helped a woman rid of a 3-year-long staph rash with Melrose and lavender. So it's a great oil to have around. You can apply it under the ears for airplane, ear popping, aches, that kind of thing. It's a great disinfectant for cuts, and it's good for fungal infections. So remember that picture of the medicine cabinet before? This is what hopefully your medicine cabinet will look like soon. This is what ours looks like. So it's clear that, my choice is Young Living, and that's because of their seed to seal process and how they guarantee that every oil is pure and potent in nature, just as nature intended. And they verify authenticity of species of the plants, and they ensure efficacy in every bottle of essential oil. They have thousands of acres of aromatic farms. There's 5 independent test labs which verify quality, and they have 30 years of experience. So that is why I choose them and nobody else. And there's so much more information out there. I wish I could continue the presentation, but I think we all need some rest. But do try the oils, smell them, experience them. Do see how they help you throughout your pregnancy and your labor and with your children, and let me know.